Inside this box is an Apple iPhone 15 Pro. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I got myself an Apple iPhone 15 Pro in blue titanium. And that is what's in this box. So we're going to do a double unboxing. First, we're going to do the box that AT&T shipped my phone in. And I got to say, it's really nice to just have it show up on my doorstep. Long in the past, we're like staying overnight in a queue in front of the store and everything. Now it just shows up. I kind of like that better. So, iPhone 15 Pro. This features a 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR screen running an impressive 2556 by 1179 at 460 pixels per inch. That's a really high density. That's that whole Retina screen, and I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful screen. I have a 14 Pro now, and this is going to be just incrementally better in a lot of different ways. But you know, I'm going to tell you the specs and we'll talk about some of its interesting features, but I know you want to see boxes. So here's our first, the outer box. And this one, let's see what we have. Well, sure enough, there's a whole lot of paperwork. We'll figure that out later. And of course, we have the iPhone 15 Pro, and it looks like they even sent me the right color. That looks like it is indeed titanium blue, and I got the smallest possible storage, so you can get it with 128 gig, 256, 512, or 1 terabyte of storage. But I have long since shifted into the world of the cloud, so I don't need a terabyte of storage on my phone. Now, what I've heard from some people is that they like that because that gives them more options when they're recording video. But honestly, I'm not recording like 500 gig of video at a time. So it's up to me to manage my data. I can do it. Now, Apple has done a lot in terms of innovating the packaging. And one of the things to notice is just how small this is. This is a $1,000 cell phone, and I can easily slip this in my pocket. But I won't. We're going to open it. And they have paper tabs on the back, one on the top and one, let's see, on the bottom. And now we should be ready to open it. And I've already prepped, so I know there's not a lot in the box. So we have the box and the lid has a little cutout for this camera. And here we go. So here's the phone in that blue titanium. I got a lot of blue going on this screen, but it just fits in with the color scheme, so that works great. Now, the titanium design features a ceramic shield front glass and a textured matte glass back, but apparently it is quite tough. Now, one of the things I've read is that the titanium can temporarily show fingerprints, but that the metal is easily cleaned. We'll see how that goes over time, but honestly, I'm going to drop it in a case as soon as I can. The unit itself is IP68. This is so great. I can remember with iPhones where if you take it into the Apple store with a problem, the first thing they do is take a flashlight and look at the bottom and see if that water sensor has been triggered. But IP68 lets you drop this into up to 20 feet of water for half an hour. This can drop into the deep end of the pool and you pull it out and let it dry and there will not be any problems. That is so nice. It's so nice to know that if someone spills coffee on it or you're all sweaty or it starts raining, no problem, the phone can handle it. Now, let's pull this front off. And now we have, this is actually a kind of a small feeling phone. It's the same size actual screen as the 14 Pro, but since Apple made the bezel a little bit slimmer, and I'm going to go ahead and try to power this on. There we go. Since they made that a little slimmer, the whole phone is actually slightly smaller. That's pretty cool. It is 5.7 inches by 2.7 inches by 3/10 of an inch thick, and it's 6.6 ounces. There we go, and you can see that screen goes right up to the edge, other than the little cutout, which is kind of a fun idea when they have to like figure out how to deal with the fact that there's a camera and stuff there. And there's also true depth. And speaking of cameras, that forward-facing camera is a 12 megapixel f1.9 true depth camera, so it's also useful for facial recognition. And on the back, there are the 3 cameras of the Pro unit, and they are a 48 megapixel f1.7 24 millimeter wide angle, a 12 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide 13 millimeter, that's really like fisheye level, and then a 12 megapixel f2.8, the slowest of the 3, but that gives you a 3x telephoto as a 77 millimeter simulated camera with, I think it's 5x zoom. So there's a digital zoom too. So 5x times 3x, so you have 15x zoom. That's pretty cool. That's going to be really fun to play with. The phone, it's still there. It's still saying hello. In terms of video, you can capture 4K video at 24, 25, 30, or 60 frames per second. So imagine, this is a 4K 60 frame per second video camera that's this size and this small. Crazy, right? Now, let's put this aside. I'm going to put this over here and see what else is in the box. And what else is in the box is this glorious new Cue the Angels USB-C to USB-C charging cable. Finally, after so many years, we are walking away from the Lightning connector. This is faster, it is more reliable, it is easier to work with. There are a million companies that make USB-C cables. Yay. Now, I will say that the way Apple set this up is that the cable in the box is not the fastest possible USB-C cable. If you want maximum charge and you're going to drop it on a high wattage wall charger, you're going to need to upgrade the cable. But honestly, other than people that are going to inevitably complain about that, for 99% of people, this is going to work just great. Or if you are an Apple aficionado like I am, you already have a USB-C cable for your MacBook. So I'm going to just use that cable, plug that into my MacBook, and I plug it into the wall if I need to charge my MacBook, or plug it into this if I need to charge this. Easy enough. Is it 120 watts or 240 watt capacity? No, but I don't really think that's going to matter. So let's see. We've talked about this. We've talked about the screen. It is an A17 Pro 6-core CPU plus 6-core GPU plus 6-core neural engine. There's a lot of horsepower inside this phone. I expect it to be very, very snappy. It supports AAC, FLAC, Dolby Digital, Dolby Atmos, Apple Lossless, all of those audio systems, and without a 3.5 millimeter jack. So Apple will have, I think they might already actually have USB-C earbuds. There'll definitely be third-party companies doing that if you want to live the wired life. But if you want to just go Bluetooth, then you got a lot of options too. So only other thing to talk about is the battery. Oh, and in the box, there's also this. And in this, let's see what comes out. We have an Apple sticker. All these years later, they still have Apple stickers. I have one of these on my car. And a tiny little, it looks like a legal disclaimers. And let's see, you no longer need a physical SIM card. Activate your eSIM during iPhone setup. So that's great. So you don't even need a SIM card. Another thing they don't have to have a cutout for. So one of the interesting things here is that it has an action button. So there's no longer that up, down, mute button. This is now a more generic button that you can assign different functions to, which should prove to be really interesting. One of those functions is mute, so you still have that same access. Perhaps, as I said, the most important is on the bottom is that USB-C charging plug. Hooray, finally. And other than that, it is the power button on the right-hand side, and there's volume up and down, and the action button on the left-hand side. That's pretty much everything. So you got the charging cable, you got some paperwork, you got an Apple sticker, and you have, of course, this beautiful Apple iPhone 15 Pro. So I am excited to get this thing fully hooked up into my system and then to be doing a full review and sharing lots of demo photos and videos and other content so you can see all of its capacities. But for now, I will leave you with this, then that is the price. So this Apple iPhone 15 Pro comes in black or white or blue, this color, or a natural titanium color, which I'm assuming is going to be silver essentially. it is $999.99. Or if you want to go through AT&T, they have a program where you can get it for $27.70 a month for 36 months. So for 28 bucks a month, you could have this beautiful phone in your hand, or you can buy it another way. That's cool. So all said and done, that's my unboxing. I am very excited to get going with this phone. Hope that was interesting. Go ahead and subscribe if you're so inspired, and that will also give you a notification when I post the full review with all those demos. Otherwise, I'll have to catch you in my next video.